wonder what the heck that is. War. No clue. Final board vote on the MITZ. Once again, our helicopter touched down in Morphthium International Trade Zone. Helena winced as she descended the steps to sandy ground. Her ship was quicker last time, or just younger. She pinned a strand of gray hair behind her ear as we began to walk towards the MITC headquarters, ready for the final vote. Yes, I am. Yes, it's time for proper due. Our industries are booming to the extent that gold doesn't really matter to us anymore. Still some financial benefit to us that the proposal agreed on with Morella goes through though. I advised you go to this meeting with the intention to treat our international partnerships, not maximizing returns. Really? I want to both increase the gold income and our international relations impact. Yes. Honestly, I don't remember what the, I don't recall exactly what the, agreement was. But anyway. Hello, Hegel. Nod back. We ushered into the main conference hall, and split off for a seat as I was led to one of the 4 podiums on stage. He did not do a good job for us. I think he actually was abstained, I believe, in the case of the whole Wayland Zeal thing, which is back in our control. I think it might be. I think that was just a bug. Alvarez gave a gruff nod of acknowledgement as I took my place next to him. So how will be voting today? You know the answer, Your Majesty. This is clear feedback as Alma Sultana tapped on her microphone. The reporters, executives, and various delegations in the conference hall snapped to attention. My brothers and sisters, we all know what this is about, so I'll get straight to it. Several years ago, the Republic of Morella began an initiative to bring the resources of the MEFM Basin under stewardship of our state and our people. In accordance with the majority of our stakeholders, we have negotiated a draft proposal for the nationalization of the trade zone. I thank my partners for their generosity and cooperation during this process. I'm happy to assure everyone gathered here that nobody will go home empty-handed. Well, almost anyone. Lesbia's getting screwed over. Finally, I maybe have a diplomatic win here. The only time that diplomacy has worked in the game, potentially. The MEFM International Trade Zone Nationalization Agreement of 1957. All currently existing assets within the MEFM Basin were brought under Morellan state ownership. From henceforth, operation of the trade zone will be overseen by a new state corporation, the Mardian Mining and Trade. Higher wages and stronger labor and environmental protections will be implemented immediately. The government of Morella will own 60% stake in the new company. The remaining 40% will go to Rizia. Alvarez scowled. Each MITZ partner will now give his or her final approval on the proposal. Book of Morella votes yes. Lesbia votes no. Rizia votes no. Situations have changed. Hell no. My kingdom is happy to approve this proposal. Sultan and Hegel give satisfied nods. Thank you, King Rhombus. Chancellor Hegel. And he also agreed. Good. It was a round of polite applause. Sultana smiled in obvious relief. By 3-1 vote, the MEFM International Trade Zone Nationalization Plan will be implemented. This is a momentous occasion. I thank you all for joining us here today. I invite you to stay for celebrations. Nice. I got my 1 win. The entire run, I got 1 win. I caught Elena's eye. She was applauding proudly from her spot in the front row. Prime Minister Sultana waved at all of us to join her in the podium for a photograph. Join her. Alvarez and Hegel stood on the other side of us as she held the new contract of the cameras. The lesbian Prime Minister spoke into my ear in a voice so low only I could hear it. The gloves are off now, Your Majesty. Good luck to your kingdom. Don't forget to smile for the cameras. Oh, shut up, you drunk. What are you going to do to me? I'm sure you're going to do tons of things to me. I'm probably going to destroy me. Knowing this game. Oh, they've spawned in 1 million tanks and you're dead. Tens of thousands of worshippers expected. Worship communities across the country called upon their members to attend the planned mass prayer at the Plavo Sanctuary. The prayer, although religious in issues, is also expected to address political issues. That's bad. Oh, God. I can't get a break with any of this stuff. Okay, let's go have tea with Queen Beatrix. I'm sure this is going to end well. By end well, I mean go horribly. The grandfather clock in the tea room of Brambleton Manor let out a series of deep, resonant chimes. Queen Beatrix had invited me to her countryside retreat in Date Fort for a one-on-one talk, but she hadn't filled me in on the subject. I'm sure this is going to be great. I didn't care what she wanted to talk about. I was glad to get away from the capital and see my sister-in-law. I looked down at the table in front of me. A white porcelain plate and teacup were surrounded by roughly a drawer's worth of silverware. I remembered my late wife lovingly instructed me on the particulars of Rumburgian high tea etiquette. The outermost spoon was for spreading jam on scones, the middle spoon was exclusively for stirring tea, and then my middle spoon was for eating petit four. Petit four. Okay, so outside is jams, middle is tea, and the side is eating rice to greet her. Oh, come now, Your Majesty, it's just the two of us. He gestured for me to sit down, then took her own seat across from me. A white-gloved server came by and poured herself tea, then set down a tiny bowl of sugar. Oh, for God. A middle spoon is tea. Beatrix smiled approvingly and did the same. I wanted to invite Her Highness as well, but I didn't want to interrupt her married bliss. That first year is so special. Oh yes, I remember it well. Believe me, I know. I mean, I remember her. I'd be more worried about tearing her away from her duties than her husband. Believe me, I know. No, I'd be more worried about tearing her away from her new duties than her husband. Ah, yes, quite the career moment, my niece. I haven't forgotten about Rumburg's wedding gift, by the way. It's finally ready. Would you like to see it? Without waiting for an answer, she gestured to her attendants. One of them brought forth an oversized velvet-covered jewel case. I lifted the lid. Inside was an ornate ovoid creation crusted in the finest jewels. Is it an egg? Oh, B, you shouldn't have. How much did this cost? I'm sure Vina will love it. It's a genuine Hattersley egg. One of only 8 in existence, but I'm sure you do that. Symbolic of the new life my niece and her husband will bring to the Rizian throne, and the heirs they will produce, of course. I detected a look of warning in her eyes. Not put too much pressure on your niece to procreate. She's only 25. And we're up to you. You wait until she was 30. Her womb will turn to dust. Oh boy. Our server returned with a silver tray of hot piping scones and a crystal ramekin and roses hip jam. Spread the jam on the scones with the outer spoon. Remember your tea etiquette. Very nice. In all seriousness, I'm glad to see that you are still sticking to the principles upon which Grace was grounded. CSP and ATO are growing far too powerful. Any sign of instability is an opportunity for them to pounce. Which is why it's so important that you keep Victor Smolak from seizing Zeal. I agree. Leave Zeal to us, we'll get it back no matter what it takes. The people of Zeal want their region returned to Wayland. I will not get in their way. We're doing the referendum on that, I have no doubts. I will get it back no matter what it takes. I'm counting on that. 2 more servers delicately put down a towering étagère, spilling over with petit four. That's the inner spoon. Well done, my sister must have taught you well. We continued talking about our kingdom as we finished our tea and sweets. As I flew home on yet another cramped commercial plane, I saw Zeal spread out beneath me. In only a few short weeks, its fate would be decided. And I can't do anything to really work on that, I guess. I can't found anything, fund anything, do anything, so that's good. No special operations. That's just my mistake, I guess. Oh, it's gonna be great. Well, here it comes. It was a sunny, beautiful day in Giles or whatever. From the tall windows of the hilltop mansion where I was staying, I saw Brennus locals frolicking on the beach beneath colorful umbrellas. I sighed, longing for the sun and sand. Instead, I was cooped up in a small room with my counselors. As Pavel had managed to source a bottle of very rare champagne for me, as well as a golden saber to open it with. Rento came to before me, bowed, and gestured towards the antique sofa in front of the television. Of course, it's going to fail. We don't have the popular support, apparently. Didn't put any money into it. So, yeah, we're all fucked. Majesty. So it's a matter of, do I want to try war? Or am I just going to take it? You know, take the situation, I should say. Okay, turn on the celebration. The television, the ballot boxes were only 18% open. It was too early to say anything yet. We had to wait. What are your thoughts? It doesn't even matter, man. Shit's so... If it is the will of the people to remain part of Wayland, I will respect that. Hell no. Zeal will vote to return to Rizia. I can't see this going either way. I will see Zeal return to Rizia by any means possible. There were options, I'm sure. When Ada entered the room and I whispered something to Lucy's ear, she got up and bowed once again. You will excuse me, Your Majesty. It seems I've returned an Agent Crawl. Yes, of course. 32% open and 21% had voted no to join Wayland. Of course. I don't know why we... I guess maybe it's the ANs looking over it. I don't know. Lucy to Rustin. Received important news from our foreign intelligence. Initial numbers show that we're going to lose the referendum. We must act. In addition, we have evidence that Smog's people are attempting to influence the referendum results. We have found agents trying to intimidate voters and instigate violence. The interrogations have shown that they have directly linked to Wayland. We must act, Your Majesty, with haste. You have all the contingency plans ready to launch at your command. I really caution against doing anything rash at this point. What else could we do? What am I going to do? Say, oh, Victor Smolak. I hope you've decided now to be, sensible on this issue. No, it's not going to happen. He's usually, at least in the normal Suzerain, you could work with Smolak. I guess in this one, you can't. Okay, so 43% open, only 35% wants to vote no to join Wayland. Took a moment to think. 49% open, I still can't act. You need to make a decision. 50, suddenly clarity, I knew what I had to do. We will not interfere with the referendum in any way. We will interfere with the Rizian armed forces. Our troops will enter Zeal to protect the ballot boxes and make sure we get ours back. Activate all our agents in Zeal and try and make use of the chaos to steal the votes from our opponents. We have no agents. Send in the armed forces. That's all we have to do. Understood, Your Majesty. I'll come back with the results in a few hours before all the votes are counted. Almost goes well, Your Majesty. Whatever happens next is bound to have major repercussions. Yeah, sure, it's gonna blow up in my face. Here it comes. Referendum results. I was pacing back and forth in the Jalis mansion, waiting to hear the results of the army deployment in Zeal. There was a knock on the door. I composed myself. At least we have troops already there, right? Yes. She entered the room again. Your Majesty. I'm afraid I have bad news, of course. The troops entered Zeal immediately after I gave the order. The troops fell back as soon as we entered. We stationed soldiers at each of the election centers to protect the votes and oversee the process. Then the unthinkable happened. So the citizens themselves started to push our soldiers back. I don't know. I mean, I just don't buy that people would like Smolak that much. He's pretty much a bloody dictator, so the Wesleys, I can't imagine liking him that much, and I can't imagine the Rizians liking him that much. But fine. Could be fighting in some areas. I guess they had guns. And so Wesleys troops were falling back. They intentionally gave all our equipment to the citizens of Zeal. Okay, there you go. Soldiers had to fall back from the election center to regroup. Unfortunately, we were no longer able to shield the referendum from Wayland's influence. Okay, well, that's stupid. I'm the one to blame. The responsibility of this lies with me alone. Can't let you take the whole blame, Your Majesty. Door open, and Lorenzo went to the room, holding a sheet of paper above his head. Results are here. We lost the referendum by landslide. Okay. Another development? Please don't turn on the television. I'm sure this is going to be great. Smolak, yes, he's blaming Rizia for interfering with the democratic process. Oh, yes. Great. Oh, this is so stupid. With no vengeance, I swear it. Call started ringing in every room. Great. Well, so much for that. Rise in new business. What's that? Oh, okay. So basically, more money. I like money. It's good. We should... Okay. The decisions of the past have caused peril for Rizia. It talks about whether we should leave the organization once and for all. The organization seems to have other agendas that do not include our place in Mercopa. If we decide to lose the Alliance of Nations, there will be repercussions, however. That's a bad idea. I'm going to stay. Leaving it is a bad idea. Oh, this is going to turn out horrible. Here it comes. Chapter 4, Sila Orca. I got an achievement, apparently. Chapter 3, Leviathan. Fate of the prisoners. Always found Portazon Citadel majestic as it was unnerving. There's long metal spirals. Spires of the building emanated an aura of terrifying grandiosity. Just looking at it sent a shiver down my spine. In my study, a stack of papers were waiting for me. A matter of life and death. In that impenetrable prison, there were people residing on my orders. I decide their fate. I'm assuming this is, what's his face? Don't, well, I'm not gonna execute, Sal. He's an old man. Yeah, Sal's an old guy. You can't be silly. Now, how much is this going to take, actually? 500. We have enough equipment and we have enough manpower. Good. What an awful situation this is. Oh, morning in the palace. I'm sure this is gonna go well. I'm gonna get shot in the face. The morning sun streamed through my windows, the windows of my chambers as I slowly opened my eyes. Sita was standing by the bedside. She's an unusually intense expression in her face. Oh god, she's gonna shoot me. Something wrong, my wife. She hesitated nervously. Your managed from this. Something I need to tell you. I think I'm pregnant. Oh, great. Now, you have to make sure that she's, oh, this is horrible. Really awful. What do you mean? What do you mean, you think? Haven't you been to a doctor yet? What? Since when? Praise the Lord. Is it a boy? Praise the Lord. We shouldn't celebrate yet. Nothing is certain. Overthrowing zeal is such a blur. I think I was throwing up from nerves. I thought I was throwing up from nerves. I wasn't even sure about how you would take the news. She hesitantly took my hand, resting on the other on her abdomen. An ear and despair, just like I wanted. Puzzled frown formed in her face. It was despair. Anyway. You come with me to the palace doctors. Maybe they can already determine the sex. Of course, what are we waiting for? I just trailed a short distance behind as we walked down the palace corridors towards the medical wing. It's a good thing the royal consultations hearings are coming up. We can announce the royal marriage and the pregnancy and then replace me almost immediately. Well, so far you haven't done all that great of a job, but okay. I want to choose my security counselor. I think for the future, let's wait until we know more. Father will jump at the chance to serve. Let's wait until we know more. Medical wing were received immediately by a group of nurses. Sita was rushed to the side room that contained Rizia's most state-of-the-art ultrasound equipment. After less than a half an hour in the waiting room, the doctors called me in and told me the news. My wife was just over 4 months along. We were having a boy. Well, that's good. Although Rumberg won't be happy, right? Low military manpower, of course. Okay, let's let the thing on the side stop. Yeah, there we go. After about 5 minutes. And move the strength national defense. The kingdom mandates an increase in military commitments from all provinces, doubling the provincial household army divisions. That will decrease authority by 4, which is pretty much all we have. Increase house troops by 2, and that increases military manpower and equipment. Let's do that. Can't do that obviously now, but could do that in the future. Provincial levies increased. King encourages voluntary enlistment. Great. Can't do anything now. We could have another infantry. We don't have nearly enough tanks. Well. Let's not do that just yet. I want to make sure I have a surplus in that stuff. Announcement of the Prince-to-be. I stood with Vina on the back terrace of my palace among keys. Gray clouds hung low on the horizon. A strong wind was picking up, and waves crashed violently against the rocky cliffs below. Same kind of storm almost killed my daughter all those years ago. I'd come close to losing her. Now I just had to tell her she might lose everything. The television crew was waiting for the front sitting room. They were waiting my official statement, announcing my marriage and my soon-to-be-born son. Future King of Rizia, at least as the law would have it. I met Vina here to tell her privately before informing the world. As I looked at her stony expression, I wondered if I had made a mistake. So I'm to be a half-sister. I suppose congratulations are in order. She ran a hand along the terrace's gold-plated railing. Why, thank you, I accept. Oh, this is a lot to take in. Please at least try to be happy with me. You'll always be my favorite. I know it's a lot to take in. Yes, it is. I based my entire life on the idea I was the future Queen of Rizia. Spent so many hours attending council meetings. I get my chance to be with the man I loved. I let you talk me into marrying my own cousin. Okay, when you put it that way, it does sound... Yeah, it's as bad as bad. Boy. You talked me into marrying my own cousin because you said that was what I expected the heir of the House Taurus. Okay, well... All you went about consolidating your own power and reading the House delegates to keep your son in charge. You wrapped her kerchief tighter around her head as a gust of wind blew. Tell me, Father, what was it all for? Well, sometimes men, make mistakes and can't decide to do things and aren't given options by the game to act differently than they would have. We've got what I told you about down the beach. Go. Rizian's succession laws need not stay in place. Nothing's decided yet. You still may get your chance to be queen. Listen, I would love to name you as my successor, but it's very complicated. Nothing's decided yet. You may still get your chance to be queen. Don't promise nothing. She blinked. Really? Yes, Lucida and I are in love and having a child together. Whether the child takes the throne doesn't matter to us. Yes, I'm still weighing my options. It's complicated. I know what a good monarch you'll be. You deserve it. Your Aunt B would have my mother nether parts on a guillotine if I removed Rumburgian blood from the line of succession. That's true. She would, wouldn't she? What about House of Zara? I'm sure they'd be furious if their heir wasn't named successor. If they retaliate, I'll be the first they go after. Great. Okay, so the game set this up to be, it's a big final choice. Okay. Let's see. It won't be an easy choice to make. One at a time to make it, indeed. But a few months since her doctor's appointment in Port Trezon, and her belly was beginning to curve outwards. Vina curtsied politely. Hello, Justice Cesaro, rather, Your Majesty. Please, Lucida, we'll do just fine. Thinking your father's told you the good news. We'll be ready for the announcement in 5 minutes, promise. I don't need 5 minutes, I know what's going to say. Splendid, I'll be right in. Leave me to thank both of you. Splendid, I'll be right in. Well, I've said before, Lucida is a little bit too much of a reformist. I shouldn't have forced her to marry Rico. If I knew I could do this, I wouldn't have had her marry Rico. But Rumburg would be very angry. How much support has Rumburg gave us, really? A little bit of diplomatic support, otherwise we're basically diplomatically alienated. We're totally isolated, in fact. Well, this is a failed run. I don't know what to tell you. The normally spacious sitting room of Palace Taurus has been filled with lighting and camera equipment, all pointed at the purple velvet divan against the back wall. Above it, hang portraits of Anna Zaro and Ariana Torres. Lucida and I were seated, and an assistant quickly refreshed our makeup. He was watching intensely from an armchair in the corner. Camera 1 counted down to 5. It was time for my royal address. That's right, another speech from the king. I hope you're not sick of me yet. That's funny. My fellow Rizians. After so many years as a widower, I'm happy to announce that I have found true love again. Allow me to present for the very first time Queen Consort Lucida Alzaro. You all know Duchess Alzaro is my war and security counselor, but now you get to know her as your new queen. After so many years as a widower, I'm happy to announce I have found true love again. We're married by a secret ceremony, the legitimacy of which shall not come into question. Shall never forget Princess Consort Lena, but Queen Lucida and I are happy to welcome new love in the Palace Resna. Forbidden flirtation, the council chambers are transformed into a new love. No, that's not something we're to say. There's more good news. We have a child, a baby boy. She'll be shortly be leaving the camp to pursue a new role, that of mother. Furthermore, I'm pleased to announce that your new queen consort is already pregnant with a son. Despite my wife's advancing years, the Lord has seen fit to plant a new seed of life within her womb. Oh, that's nasty. That's mean. Furthermore, I am pleased to announce that your new queen consort is already pregnant with a son. Sita placed a hand on my shoulder and smiled for the cameras. His name shall be Prince Ramus II. His name shall be Prince Tadius II. His name shall be Prince Valero II. I shall name him Ardos, after one of the most devout Rorik's disciples. I paused for dramatic effect. Though I am overjoyed at becoming a father for the second time, I cannot neglect the inspiration my daughter Vina has been to this country and me. Or we can say, according to the traditions of this great kingdom, a monarch shall succeed by his or her eldest son. A woman can inherit the throne only if he had no brothers. I will soon have 2 children, a son and a daughter. One of them will be your ruler after I am gone. Choosing the official successor was not an easy decision for me. When I thought about who I would want succeeding me, the answer was clear as day. I beg of you, my public, to recognize the heir that I named today. Rizia can ill afford another war of succession. Rest assured that the royal family should continue to lead Rizia through thick and thin. Matters who is at the helm. We cannot afford another war of succession, for the love of God. Here it comes. Well, Azaro, they're too powerful as far as the military goes, so I can't really go against them. And I have a feeling they're going to throw me into some sort of a big issue there. I had read that if things go wrong with this, you can end up with a civil war of some sort. I believe, at least. I tried to avoid spoilers, but obviously you can't totally avoid them. And Vina and Rumburg is obviously going to try and fund something, but I figure Vina has less influence, especially since she's married to Rico, so it's like you can't have the house against the house, so I figure it's less dangerous. So, here we go. In accordance with Rizian law, I shall be succeeded by the son of Queen Consort Musita Torres. Musita squeezed my shoulder, her eyes were shining with gratitude. When your new prince ascends the throne, you shall love, honor, and respect him as you have me. If my son possesses half the intelligence and keen judgment of his mother, he will be one of the finest kings Rizia has ever known. I would stress that Princess Vina Torres is equally deserving of the crown, if not more so, but it must follow the same rules of my ancestors before me. Hope that our long-term allies in Rumburg will accept the decision. It was not meant as a slight against my love Lena, but as a proud adherence to the values of both our kingdoms hold dear. It's not going to work, but let's try and soften the blow. Heard the your steps on the other end of the room, then the sound of Vina door closing, Vina left, of course. The camerawoman signals for me to wrap things up. First Valero, then myself, now my son. The line of Taurus King shall remain unbroken. Glory to the new king consort, all hail your current future king. Gluisaz, Axa Rizia, long live Crown Prince of Ardos. Thank you and God bless you all. Thank you and God bless you all. Recording light switched off. Well, that went horribly. She baby trapped me. Warm welcome to our new prince and Rufus Crag's world gossip, the king's new family. Yeah, it's a little bit shocking.